What's your hand?
What's your hand?
Alright, well, out of a sense of adventure, we are going to the Military Museum of the People's Revolution. I was thinking we should go to the National Museum, but we decided, well, we've never been to the Military Museum, let's go there instead. So, let's jayo. I've never been to the Military Museum before, I've never really even looked it up, but Beijing has a few of these big museums where you might not think to go if you weren't here for a very long time. Like the big one that you would go to is the National Museum, which is by Tiananmen Square. But this one is the Military Museum beside Beijing Xijian, which is one of the, or Beijing West Station, where the high-speed railway station is. Apparently in 2008, it was like literally only this line, maybe a couple stations, but now it's a bit bigger than that. I'm not sure I would have ever known that this existed if I had never came to the Military Museum. This is the Beijing Millennium Monument. Apparently it was built in 1999 for part of the Millennium celebrations. It has a flame in the middle over there, and then it's built like a sundial, which is also, you can see at the Forbidden City, they have a small sundial right by one of the entrances, one of the temples, or one of the towers at the Forbidden City. We're going to that building over there. All right, so like most places here in China and in Beijing and most of the museums, it is mianfei, so it's free, a free ticket, but usually you have to make a booking online. You also have to bring your hujiao, your passport as well. Other than that, free, show up, show your passport, you're good to go. Oh man, there's 4 levels to this thing. What are we gonna learn here? Power of the Canadian passport. Let's go. Oh, there we go, we got in, but a bit of an issue here is my little selfie stick got taken away. They're like, no, anio chingu, bukui dai jiga selfie stick. So that means at the end, I gotta go to Mianfei B1 Co and pick up my selfie stick. Look at this man walking there. Alright, so this is one of these statues. They actually have something similar to this at Tiananmen Square as well. I don't think it's the same, but in Tiananmen Square by the statue or the monument to the heroes, there's a very similar sort of effigy or a monument as well that they will have on display. There's one over here and there's one on the other side as well. I didn't know China was really one of the canon type of people. I sort of associate this with the Westerners, with British and whatnot. That'd be kind of tough to read right now. Paigajiao, we'll read it later. And so on this side they have the soldiers, and then on that side I guess they have the working people. Aren't they the same, the working people and the soldiers? This is part of the history I'm going to learn here today at the museum. And so as most national museums or big museums in China have, they usually have a statue of Mao as well on display. You'll also see this at a lot of the universities in the city as well. In Haidian district, a lot of them have a statue of Mao either standing right at the entrance or close to it anyway. Oh man. 千年, so preface. 从上世18大开始，中国特色社会主义进入新时代. So they entered into a new century. It's a lot of Chinese. How much do you spend reading the introductions to places in museums or introduction prefaces at a museum? Do you do that quite a bit, or you just kind of walk by and keep on going? This is all in Chinese. There is no English here at all. All right, so he has 4 books. So these are all speeches, and they're available in a bunch of different languages. I remember this one was released when I first got to China back in 2014, and they had lots of copies available in like Russian and English and everything. That's all his speeches that he either gives in public or in closed chambers as well. So you'll notice the type of car that he's riding here. This is Xi Jinping in the Hongqi. Now, Hongqi is China's sort of premier car manufacturer. I think they bought FAW. Can't remember exactly, but they do. They're a major manufacturer. It's kind of like, it's China's Rolls-Royce. It's a domestic sort of national pride sort of thing. This is the type of car that he'd be riding around in all the parades. And then also, if he goes overseas, they'd probably take a couple of those as well, as most world leaders do when they go overseas. I think this would just be the coolest thing ever to work on a boat like this. Teacher Yixin, so it's a new system. Diego Yixin is a new structure. And this is Geju Yixin, so another system. And then Mianmao Yixin, which is like a new appearance, new system of appearance. Oh, and the futuristic fighting systems they have. Look at this. This is the one that can show you. No way, look at the fleet that they're building here. Dog. Got some playing cards. Oh, yeah, I would so buy those. Ming Fa Dian. People's Law Classic. I gotta take my jacket off, it's so hot. These booklets, actually, I think they're free. You could request one from the government office, but also in Tiananmen Square and a lot of the tourist areas, you can pick these books up. All they are just the policies of the current administration, basically. There you go, drones. You can buy these on Taobao as well. Is that a GoPro or a DJI? Current firepower of the Chinese army. I don't know what any of these are like. The American viewers can tell me. Oh, this is kind of neat. You can go in there, you can fly the drones if you want. You have to line up though behind me. You can fly it and you can try out their little Oculus systems. That's kind of neat. Hey, what are they? They're not playing ping pong. No. Rocket Force. Well, I think we see what this is.
Which character you cannot read?
And there we have the plans for the future. By 2050. Where will you be in 2050? Oh, there we go. There's the big rockets. This is kind of neat. And the airplanes. They have actual huge planes here. All right, this is kind of neat here. So this here is one of the Soviet R-22 bombers that was used by the Chinese military. These characters right here, Ba-yi, represent August 1st, 2000. Sorry, these two characters here represent Ba-yi, August 1st, 1927, which is when the Chinese army was founded. So the People's Liberation Army. Now, I'm not sure if that's when the Kuomintang and the People's Liberation Army sort of separated, went their own ways, or that just represents the founding of the military in general. So Ba-yi, you'll also see this on old flags as well, but on this Soviet Tu-2 fighter jet bomber, how cool would it be to fly that thing? Imagine the strength you need to fly it. All right, well, this might be a reality of getting older or whatever, but there are not many seats here in the military museum. So we're in the basement now, sitting on the stairs instead. That's kind of a neat museum. They have a lot of big stuff, lots of guns from around the world, mostly US, a lot of Soviet stuff as well. And then some of the stuff, I guess, was the Chinese military a big arms manufacturer as well? I don't know. And since all the signs are in Chinese, I'm not really spending much time looking at them and reading a lot of them. It's kind of neat to see them. Don't really go to military museums very often. Hey buddy, how's it going? Come on. And that's where we are right now. Well, I can only imagine where they got these US military tanks from, since they have so many of them, even this very new one, this amphibious unit. This is kind of neat. Not sure why this is in the collection. It looks new, but I think it's kind of old. 1949. Yeah. Quite a few US military tanks and stuff around here. Zhao.
Hello.
Hello. And this is US M24. And isn't this interesting? This is the wreckage of a U-2 spy plane that was used for reconnaissance back in the day. I'm guessing either the Chinese or the Soviets shot this down, and that's why they have it on display here. That's what a U-2 spy plane looks like. This was like the pinnacle of spy planes when it was first invented. Also demoed at Area 51, I believe. So of all strange thoughts about a military museum is that all those guns were probably used at some point to shoot at people. How many people died as a result of all the guns that are in this place? Or you're not supposed to think that when you're looking at a military museum. Don't know. Well, starting early, I guess.我的新的朋友，你的名字是什么？张，我是史蒂夫，史蒂文，我不知道。你好，好，感谢你。
很handsome，很漂亮，
很帅，但是我说他很帅，所以你觉得谁是最帅的？Oh, he is giving me ideas. What do you think? Could I pull that off? Maybe. So as with most military museums, there's a lot of big planes. This is the main display area here that takes up most of the building. Up here on the second floor is mostly artillery and guns and stuff like that. I was kind of wondering why the inside of the missiles or inside of the rockets are made like that, with that foamy stuff. There is some Canadiana as well. That plane right over in this area. This one's a Canadian, some sort of fighter jet. Can't remember, from the 1940s or 1950s. So down on B1, that's where they have a lot of the tanks and artillery. A lot of some Chinese manufactured stuff, but a lot of Japanese, USA, and of course Soviet tanks and artillery and stuff like that from many years past and all the wars that they used to fight. I think it's mostly in the northeast part of China. So I don't know. Maybe other people know a little bit more about history than I do. But this is an interesting little stop if you're looking to see big machines and artillery. So Mao also used to write poetry as well, and I'm not sure if that's his actual writing, but there are books that you can buy that you can read it. I don't understand, what's that?
现在离闭馆时间还有20分钟，请大家抓紧时间参观。
Oh, well, it is 4:57 and we're getting kicked out of the museum. And that means that we've only gone through about 3/4 of it. We did not go into that room over there or the third floor either, but we did manage to see most of it, including the big room down here with all the stuff that I showed you guys before, all the bombers up in the air, and then downstairs as well where the tanks are and stuff. So each museum typically has a red room, and by red room I mean it's actually like a whole wing of the exhibition wherein the Communist Party, or at least the national government, puts on a little bit of display on the current rulings of the CCP. And by rulings I mean some of the things that they've done, the history of the party as well, and how it's helped shape the country over time. So although most people would consider it a propaganda room, you could also just say it's an advertisement room, which doesn't every political party have one of those somewhere, some way? So overall, if you're going to come to the museum, make sure you get here earlier than like 2 o'clock, because it's going to take a little bit more than 2 or 3 hours to go through the whole thing if you want to see the whole thing. Now again, very few English cards or English title cards throughout the museum. A lot of it's focused towards the Chinese population, of course, but if you are interested in seeing big military machines, guns and ammo, and learning a little bit about the history, including the big battles with the Japanese, the Soviets, and of course the Americans, this would be one place that you can come by and see. Again, Mianfei, it's free, bring your passport, and also no selfie sticks, because, well, you got to check them at the front and they'll give them to you at the end once you leave. All right, so Jiao from the Military Museum here in Beijing. Hope you're well. Are you kidding me? We missed the display of the war to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea. How could we miss that one? We got this one, Peaceful Use of Nuclear Weapons and Technology Hall. Interesting. All right, weaponry display. That's all the big military stuff. And then more weaponry display, all the tanks and light weaponry. And as usual, after a museum, you just kind of feel nothing but like Yunla. You're all dizzy and everything. How long do you spend in museums and such? Do you spend like a long time or just a short time? And how much do you actually learn from a museum? Let me know. I'd be interested to find out. And what's your favorite museum that you've ever been to? Has it been a military one? Has it been an art museum or something else? Let me know. I'd be interested. Thanks for watching, and we'll do this again. Bye-bye.